Hi, this is Nathan Tintle. In this Learning Goal video, we'll talk about the difference between doing one overall test versus many pairwise comparisons when you have one quantitative variable and a categorical variable with multiple groups. We will use the ambiguous prose data set to talk about this learning goal. In this data, the categorical variable is the treatment group. They see the picture before, after, or not at all. And there's a quantitative response variable, which is the score on the comprehension quiz. This data is different than data we've seen before because there are multiple groups being compared. One option would be to compare each group to another group, before versus after versus none, and none versus before. But there's a problem with this approach, and the problem is type 1 errors. Imagine if the null hypothesis is true and all the average quiz scores across the three groups are the same. If we do 3 tests comparing each group to another group, then there are 3 chances at being wrong. Each of the comparisons has a 5% chance of being wrong. So what are the chances that you make at least one mistake if you do 3 tests? Well, the answer is a number that's quite a bit bigger than 5%. So what's the solution? The solution is to do one overall test. So if the null hypothesis is that there's no association between the group you're in and your quiz score, in other words, that the average quiz score in each of the 3 groups is the same, and the alternative hypothesis is that there is an association, in other words, that at least one of the 3 average scores is different than the other. If we test these hypotheses, then we've done a single test, and we can control the type 1 error rate by using an appropriate significance level. So what we would like to do is to apply the 3S strategy to these hypotheses, finding a single statistic, a simulation of the null hypothesis of no association between the 2 variables, and then evaluating the strength of evidence. We'll talk in other Learning Goal videos how to do this, but after you complete this overall test, then if you have a significant result, you will do a follow-up analysis, but only if the overall test is significant. We'll talk about that approach as well in other Learning Goal videos.